Good afternoon and welcome to the Midday News. Here's what we have in the bulletin. Court of Appeal rules Paula Llewellyn remains Jamaica's DPP. Church leaders join forces to restore peace in Manchester. And later in sports, West Indies lose T20 series to Bangladesh. Thank you for joining us. I'm Shamela Pula and here are the details. We begin with news that a judge has ruled that Paula Llewellyn remains as Jamaica's Director of Public Prosecution. The ruling was made a short while ago in the Court of Appeal. Our legal correspondent, Dion Jackson Miller, has the details. Dion?
Thanks so much, Shamela. The ruling was made by a three-member panel of the Court of Appeal. And I just want to remind your listeners a little bit, because to understand where we are, we have to remember what it was at stake. The DPP, Ms. Llewellyn, was supposed to retire in 2020 when she reached the age of 60. That's what the Constitution had said at the time. She asked for and she got a 3-year extension. Before she came to the age of 63, she asked for another extension. She was told, no, the Constitution didn't allow it. So the government, I should say, at that point or a little later had passed an amendment to the Constitution to raise the age of retirement for the DPP as well as the Auditor General from 60 to 65, which is the age that's now generally used in the public sector. But what that act also did was make provision for Ms. Llewellyn to elect to retire at any point after the age of 60. Now, the opposition objected to that because they said, hold on, the DPP has already got an extension. She should now be demitting office. And the Supreme Court ruled that the part of the act that raised the retirement age from 60 to 65 was fine. But they said Ms. Llewellyn, that's the Supreme Court, couldn't benefit from that because what the new legislation was doing was to essentially allow her to choose when to retire, when what the Constitution says is that that decision should be made by the leader of the opposition and the Prime Minister, and a recommendation from the Prime Minister to the Governor General. The Court of Appeal has now disagreed with the Supreme Court. They said yes, they agreed with the Supreme Court that the part of the act raising the retirement age is fine, but they disagreed with the Supreme Court that it doesn't apply to Ms. Llewellyn. They have said that the extension, the raised retirement age automatically applies to Ms. Llewellyn, and that is why she remains in office. It's a pretty detailed ruling. The press summary is out. We're waiting for the full ruling to go through it when we'll be able to tell you more, Shamela.
Thank you, Dion, and we'll have more on this development in Primetime News at 7. To other news now, the 10,000-man march normally held in St. Catherine is going to Manchester. But how will this curb crime in that parish? The details in this report. Church leaders in St. Catherine and Manchester are coming together for a common cause. They're on a mission to restore peace in Manchester. Bishop Rowan Edwards is the founder of the 10,000 Men and Families movement.
It's a Jamaica Renewal program that has been adopted by the 10,000 Men and Families movement, where we're going through the entire island, appealing to people that it's time for the wicked spirit of murder to stop. We are saying to Jamaica, we have to go back to live like Jamaicans. So that's what we're doing here in Mandeville. We're going to take all the troubled communities, we're going to go into all of them, and we're going to be sending a message loud and clear that Jamaica is for everybody.
Bishop Edwards is partnering with the Mandeville Ministers Association and the Mandeville Municipal Corporation. He says this joint effort aims to tackle the issue from multiple angles to create a more significant impact.
We will be working with the municipalities, all the councillors that are here. We'll be going into their communities. We'll be getting into some of the some of the people who want to meet some of the people who are doing the wrong thing. We want to have meetings with them. We're going to be having breakfast meetings with some of the men in the community. We'll be meeting with the women in the community. We'll be meeting with children. We're going to be going through the entire communities, all the communities in Mandeville that is seeming to be flaring up.
Bishop Edwards is optimistic about this joint initiative, citing successful outcomes in other areas.
We have experienced that in Spanish Town, and we are happy to say that violence in Spanish Town is not like what it used to be. We go through all of St. Catherine, meeting with all the fraternals in St. Catherine, and we have seen a level of decline in Spanish Town in particular that is welcoming.
The Manchester Police have also been working with citizens to bring crime under control. Chairman of the St. Catherine Municipal Corporation, Norman Scott, is urging the government to assess roads to be rehabilitated under the Spark program. While not dismissing the need for repairs of the existing roads, Mr. Scott says the roads in the municipality require significant attention.
It is unfair.
A visibly upset chairman of the St. Catherine Municipal Corporation, Norman Scott, chiding the government over its selection of the roads to be fixed island-wide. The list published on the Spark program's website showed 584 roads across the 63 constituencies. 68 of them are in St. Catherine. Still, Mr. Scott argues that many of the roads in need of repair are noticeably absent.
It is unfair. And again, I call on the Prime Minister to reset. Reset, Prime Minister, reset. Think about the local roads and have some discussion, have some reallocation as it relates to the local authorities.
In the busy capital, Burke Road in Spanish Town, for example, has been an eyesore for motorists and commuters alike. A 40-minute drive to Linstead, another town centre, and the plights were similar.
Oh gosh, man, nobody can pass, man. The whole place block up and flood out, man. The water flood over, comes straight out in our road.
Councillor Herbert Garrix has been advocating for better roads and improved drainage. An additional $5 billion has been set aside in the Spark program to address water-related infrastructure.
I would want to think that this should be one of the priorities on the list, but this is in the middle of a town. It's not like it's on a bypass or something.
The parochial revenue fund, made up of 90% property tax and 2/3 of motor vehicle license tax, is to help address this. But according to Mr. Scott, the fund is not enough. The funds are also to be used for public cleaning, garbage disposal, street lighting, fire services, minor water supply, parks, and beautification.
If the entire funding is sent to St. Catherine, we can't do 5 good roads. That money can only do maintenance on some roads.
Prime Minister Andrew Holness said the roads were selected by Jamaicans through a series of public consultations held with the members of parliament in each constituency. The website did say all roads are under consultation and are subject to change.
I'm not against anything. MPs deserve it. They deserve it. But I'm saying we have 90% of the total road network, and therefore we should and we are to be given funding.
Jamila Maitland, TVJ News.
Vendors at the Claremont Market in St. Anne are not happy about the deplorable state of the market. They have cited infrastructure, poorly designed stalls, among other issues.
Down here, people need for help for man. You know, get some development, man. Help in the market area. One side of the bathroom lock. You get upset enough time. One side of the bathroom lock. Man and woman are use the same bathroom. What is wrong? We need Claremont Market to come back on top, man.
Unlike other markets in the parish, though, it is leased. At this point, the lease has expired, and there are a lot of things that should be done, can be done, to improve the conditions of the market and the marketability of the market as well. And I have been pushing for some of those things.
So, what's the next move, may I ask?
You know, like I said, the lease agreement has expired, and we are currently in discussions at the municipal corporation as to what direction to take.
And vendors in Falmouth Trelawney say they're bracing for a sluggish Christmas season. They say the rise of online shopping has significantly impacted local sales.
This is rough, son of bun, me down here wicked and grimy. Look for me buy shoes. And when them buy online, sometimes they don't get nothing good. You know, see it. So we have to read something right that's on the market for a good price. So just walk in the Falmouth Market, man, and support way. Yeah, year to year seller, right? That's over there. You see it.
Meanwhile, with an increase in business activities in the days ahead, the Trelawney police say they will continue to maintain a heavy presence in the town. Head of Police Superintendent Winston Milton says the recently implemented traffic plan also appears to be working.
There are actually 2 cruise ship in port now, and a number of tourists milling around in the township. Some, have boarded public transportation, contract carriage, for attractions in and out of the parish. These we are able to facilitate because of strategic deployment within the township.
It's time for a break. Stay with us. More stories when we return. Welcome back to the Midday News. It's now time for the Business Minute.
The Bank of Jamaica is expected to reduce the benchmark rate by another 25 basis points from 6.25% per annum to 6% per annum later today. Now, there, however, continues to be concerns that the commercial banks have not responded to its recent 75 basis point rate reduction. However, Antoinette Hamilton, president of the MSME Alliance, says the Jamaica Banking Association has given the assurance of a rate reduction by the commercial banking sector. Further afield, government borrowing in the UK fell in November from a year earlier as more money was raised from taxes and less was spent on the country's debt interest payments. Borrowing was £11.2 billion last month, the lowest November figure since 2021. Separate figures from the Office of National Statistics, ONS, showed retail sales rose slightly last month, helped by stronger trading at supermarkets. The latest figures come as economic growth in the UK remains weak and inflation is rising at its fastest pace since March. For the Business Minute, I'm Shane Masters.
Time now for the top regional and international stories.
In the region, the Economic Commission for Latin America and the Caribbean, ECLAC, says the growth rate in the region is projected to be 2% this year, increasing slightly to 2.4% next year. ECLAC, in its preliminary overview of the economy of Latin America and the Caribbean, is proposing a series of policies for the region to address the low growth capacity in which it is caught. It warned that this year and next, the growth rates will remain low if there continues to be a dependency on private consumption and less on investment. On the international scene, President-elect Donald Trump is calling for the debt ceiling to be extended as the threat of a government shutdown is looming. Without the debt ceiling extension, Trump argued that the U.S. should never make a deal. The debt ceiling was suspended by the Bipartisan Fiscal Responsibility Act in June 2023. It's set to return on January 2nd. And the Malaysian government says it has agreed in principle to resume the search for a passenger jet that vanished 10 years ago in one of aviation's greatest mysteries. Malaysia Airlines flight MH370 disappeared in March 2014 while on its way to Beijing from Kuala Lumpur with 239 people on board. On Friday, Malaysia's Transport Minister Anthony Luki said the cabinet approved in principle a $70 million deal with US-based marine exploration firm Ocean Infinity to find the aircraft. And those were the top regional and international stories. I'm Shane Masters.
Thank you, Shane. We take another break. Sports is next.